This is Jonah chapter 4, verses 6 to 8. Now the Lord Yahweh God appointed a plant, and made it come up over Jonah, that it might be a shade over his head, to save him from his discomfort. So Jonah was exceedingly glad because of the plant. But when dawn came up the next day, God appointed a worm that attacked the plant, so that it withered. When the sun rose, God appointed a scorching east wind, and the sun beat down on the head of Jonah, so that he was faint. And he asked that he might die, and said, "It is better for me to die than to live." Now in verse 6, we see that God provided shade for Jonah to comfort him. And at the end of the verse, we see Jonah's reaction to the shady plant. He really liked it. It's interesting to see verse 1 alongside verse 6 in the Hebrew. Verse 1 basically says, it was bitter to Jonah, a great bitterness. While here in verse 6 it says, Jonah was happy, a great happiness. Now the parallel wording points to Jonah being very bitter when things are not going his way, but he's very happy when things are working out the way he wants. Can this not be true of us? When we see this in our own lives, this should be a reminder that we have a sinful inclination within us to be selfish, or self-absorbed, or self-centered, or self-focused, however you want to word it. Now, God has set the stage to reveal to Jonah just how selfish he is. Just as quickly as God provided a plant for Jonah with a comforting shade, he just as quickly took it away. God caused a worm to come overnight and destroy the plant. If Jonah is truly enjoying the plant in a selfish way, then how would he know that? How would we know? What would be the indicator? Well, the key to the answer is found in his reaction. After the shade is gone, Jonah's great happiness vanishes as well, and he's bitter again, to the point that he wants to die. Adding to the bitterness might have been the reality that 40 days had passed, and God's judgment on Nineveh never came. Instead of simply enjoying the plant and its shade while he had it, Jonah expresses the attitude that he deserved it and is upset that he doesn't still have it. Now, I'm not sure whatever happened to that shelter he built for himself in verse 5, but it must not have worked out so well either. The Bible teaches that we are born with an instinct to be selfish, a sinful instinct. Are you convinced of that? As you meditate on this passage, I want you to think about how God is the great healer for my soul. And think about that throughout your day. And as you respond in prayer to this passage, tell God that you like how He is a great physician for us physically and emotionally and spiritually. This is praise. And ask God to bring you the healing that He says you need. And step out in faith. Sometimes we think we know how we need to be healed. But God might want to heal us in a different way. So ask God to heal you the way that He wants, and trust Him to do it.